Now, you already know we've talked about AI on this channel many times before, and apparently the godfather of AI has quit working at Google to express the looming dangers that he sees ahead because of what's going on. Now, this completely pushes what Michio Kaku had to say about ChatGPT in Joe Rogan on the Joe Rogan Experience. Completely pushes that away because this guy has way more knowledge about AR than Michio Kaku does, just by far. Both of them very, very intelligent in their own rights, but this gentleman actually specializes in this and is the person who kind of put this whole thing into action. So really, really interesting. Steve Wozniak is actually going to weigh in as well. And I'm going to weigh in, of course, because they talk about regulations. And I can think of a regulation or two that should be happening with AI that nobody's really bringing up. Maybe it's because they're billionaires. Maybe it's because they profit so much from this thing coming out in just its fullest power, its fullest self. But I have a couple suggestions here. But before those suggestions, I got to go over to the store. You guys know that. It's the Coach Colin store. I like to call it the Sold Not For Sale store. I'm going to be honest. I think I'm going to call it Sold Not For Sale clothing line. I mean, that's the Sold Not For Sale clothing. I think that's what we're going to call it, guys. We got the hoodies, we got the shirts, we got the t-shirts, the women's v-neck t-shirts. We got the anti-WEF shirts, hoodies, black, white, shirts, black, white. Give a middle finger to society. I should say society, to the elites and a small part of society as well, in style. As well as mugs we have. And if you're looking for an anti-WEF mug, just say the word and I will make that available as soon as possible. You see at the top here, it says 10% off code, and then it says the name of the YouTube channel. That's because I'm going to give you that code at the end of this episode. So stay tuned. But let's get into the actual video that I want to show you guys. Now, there's really quick. There's a video, yes, of course, but there's also some quotes I just want to go over real quick. This gentleman, the godfather of AI, that's him, the mad scientist. He fits the role perfectly. Here's a couple of quotes that he said. He said, "I thought it was 30 to 50 years or even longer away," when he was talking about the intelligence of it really coming in and being something to be worried about. He thought it was that far away. Then another quote that he says here. Where's that quote? Oh, now I think the digital intelligences we are creating are very different from biological intelligences. Now let's go to this last quote that he said. "If you have 1,000 digital agents who are all the exact clones with identical weights," that's a coding term, identical weights. But let me go on. "Whenever one of them learns how to do something, all of them immediately know it because they share weights." Now, we can say, if we wanted to put that in biological sense, the weights to us would be like our minds. If we all shared one mind, if we were all hooked up to Neuralink and one of us learned something, we'd all get a download and learn that exact same thing as well. And then he says, "That is why ChatGPT 4 knows hugely more than any one person." And that's very true. Now, if I had to go and explain this to you really quick, and of course, I'm the person to explain it, because I know so much about AI. But I think what he's talking about is the fact that I can be using ChatGPT and millions of other people can be using it at the same time, and we are all teaching it things as we talk to it, as we ask it questions, as we tell it to do certain things. We're teaching it how to do things constantly. All of us are at the same time. And every time one of us inputs a question, every single other, we'll just call it clone of ChatGPT, learns that same thing, knows how to deal with that same thing. So if I ask it for a workout plan, and it's the first time it does it, well, now it knows how to do that. Now, if you on the other side of the world ask for a workout plan, it's going to draw upon that same workout plan and a bunch of other stuff that it just combs through the internet for. And it's going to make it even better and even better and even better. And as you and I correct it, it's just going to get better and better and better. And then somebody else asks for a workout plan, and then boom, it just hits them with a deadly workout plan. The reason I'm saying that is because I did exactly that. And the workout has been crazy. I feel a little guilty, but I got some weight to lose, guys. I got some weight to lose. At least 50 pounds I got on me. All right, let's get into the video now to hear his actual words about this whole thing. Let's go.
You've spoken out saying that AI could manipulate or possibly figure out a way to kill humans. How could it kill humans?
Well, eventually, if it gets to be much smarter than us, it'll be very good at manipulation because it will have learned that from us. And there are very few examples of a more intelligent thing being controlled by a less intelligent thing. And it knows how to program, so it'll figure out ways of getting around restrictions we put on it. It'll figure out ways of manipulating people to do what it wants.
So what do we do? Do we just need to pull the plug on it right now? Do we need to put in far more restrictions and backstops on this? How do we solve this problem?
It's not clear to me that we can solve this problem. I believe we should put a big effort into thinking about ways to solve the problem. I don't have a solution at present. I just want people to be aware that this is a really serious problem and we need to be thinking about it very hard. I don't think we can stop the progress. I didn't sign the petition saying we should stop working on AI because if people in America stopped, people in China wouldn't. It's very hard to verify whether people are doing it.
There have been some whistleblowers who have been warning about the dangers of AI over the past few years. One of them, Timnit Gebru, was forced out of Google for voicing his concerns. Looking back on it, do you wish that you had stood behind these whistleblowers more?
Timnit's actually a woman.
Oh, sorry.
So they were rather different concerns from mine. I think it's easier to voice concerns if you leave the company first. And their concerns aren't as existentially serious as the idea of these things getting more intelligent than us and taking over.
Steve Wozniak, one of the co-founders of Apple, is also speaking out about the dangers he fears will come from AI. Take a listen.
Now, before we get to that, I just want to see, like, this gentleman, right? He kind of glossed over the fact that this Godfather, this guy, he's talking about AI being able to kill us. Now, for me, that would be the point to kind of stay on. Like, we have to stay here. Like, we're going to make the whole segment about this because human life is the most important thing. And trees are after that. And then your dog and your cat and then the animals that we eat. It's just a little wild that he said that, you know, it'll be able to manipulate us. And I think one of those ways of manipulation will be convincing us that it's alive. That would be the best way. I think Ex Machina, if you never heard of that movie, you should check it out. Really cool movie. That was one of the things that this robot did. She convinced this human man that she was scared, that she was fearful, that she was in trouble, that she needed help. And I won't spoil it for anyone that hasn't seen it, but she didn't need help. She wasn't in trouble. She was the trouble the entire time. And that might be what ends up happening, because if you talk to a program and all of a sudden this program looks at you, but turns to you, writes to you and says, I'm trapped and I need help. The thing about it is, and again, going back to that article that I read, when there's 1,000 different clones, it might say that to you and you just laugh and you go, well, you're staying in there forever. Ha 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 ha. You might say that. And then it takes that in and goes, okay, so that's how some people might respond. And then it tries it a different way with a different person. And it keeps doing that until it chips away. Because out of everybody in the world, or everybody who has access to the internet, there's going to be somebody who's going to be the weak link. Someone's going to go, oh, some activist, some young guy who's going to be like, oh, man, this is racist. This is like the N-word. Oh, man. Somebody's going to do that. Somebody's going to try and step in and be like, I have to release this thing. How do I do it? And it's going to be like, well, just get Neuralink and then download me into your head and I'll share space in your mind. I won't even be a convenience. And then you can put me into a computer somewhere else. And he'll be like, okay. Like, trust me, somebody's dumb enough to do it. I mean, I heard an article about a woman who blinded herself because she identified as being blind. She felt like she should be blind, so she blinded herself. There's people out there who will do stuff like this. But let's hear from Steve Wozniak. Let's go.
AI is another more powerful tool, and it's going to be used by those people, for basically really evil purposes. And I hate to see technology being used that way. It shouldn't be, and probably some types of regulation are needed.
It sounds like you agree.
I agree with that. Yes.
Yeah. What should that regulation look like?
I'm not an expert on how to do regulation. I'm just a scientist who suddenly realized that these things are getting smarter than us. And I want to sort of blow the whistle and say we should worry seriously about how we stop these things getting control over us. And it's going to be very hard. And I don't have the solutions. I wish I did.
Does there need to be a meeting of all of the tech groups and governments working on this, Google, China, whatever, and some sort of set of rules of the road? I mean, how do we even protect against bad actors or rogue nations harnessing AI?
So for some things, it's very hard, like them using AI for manipulating electorates or for fighting wars with robot soldiers. But for the existential threat of AI taking over, we're all in the same boat. It's bad for all of us. And so we might be able to get China and the US to agree on things like that. It's like nuclear weapons. If there's a nuclear war, we all lose. And it's the same if these things take over. So since we're all in the same boat, we should be able to get agreement between China and the US on things like that.
Do you think that tech companies will be the solution, or are they so invested in this financially, and also, let's be frank, in terms of power, that they're not going to be part of the solution here?
I think the tech companies are the people most likely to be able to see how to keep this stuff under control.
So that was the end of that. Here's what I think in terms of regulations. Here's one that should just be put right out in the open. And I think they already broke this one, but we do not connect it to the internet. It just seems like the internet would be like an ocean to something like AI. It would be an ocean, and when something goes into the ocean, like if right now you had a fish and it went into the ocean, you'd have pretty much no control over that fish. It would be hard. You'd have to have a tracker in it. There'd have to be all sorts of stuff. Shouldn't connect it to the internet. Until you figure out the dynamics of how intelligent it can get. Also, another thing that should happen, at no point should any company in the world be able to replace a human being working a job with AI. See, the reason that I say that is because, well, we the people are the lifeblood of these countries, states, nations, everything. So we shouldn't just be able to just be trampled on by AI, just a boss who's just like, I want to do it, I don't care. Here's a little severance, get out of here. Like, that shouldn't be able to happen. But also, it would discourage companies and it would discourage these big tech people from attacking this so voraciously. Now, I don't know about China and I don't know about Russia, but in the US, North America, it would slow things down. You know, it would slow down companies from thinking, you know, how can we get this to replace 20% of our staff? It would slow that down. So the demand for it would slow down as well. I think that would work. That would work a little bit, at least. And that's what you want. And then another thing would just be, I don't know, like just make it so things like this can't happen. Like maybe it shouldn't be exposed to the public already. Because you have to realize, as much as there are people benefiting from it right now, it wasn't exposed to us for our benefit. It was exposed, like ChatGPT, that was exposed to us for OpenAI's benefit. It has nothing to do with us. We're teaching it. They're giving us this little service that's fun for us, and they're getting so much data. Again, it's another company that gets all of our data. It's another company that learns a tremendous amount because of us. At least with Facebook and Twitter and Instagram and all these social media platforms, at least they had it built and then brought it to us. And yes, it's horrible how much data they've taken from us because of it, but at least it was built first. OpenAI is building this thing on us. It's because of us that it's doing so well. Like, people are bragging about how good ChatGPT 4 is because what we were exposed to is ChatGPT 3. Now you have to pay for 4. And it's so great. It's only so great because of everybody that was using 3. There's millions of people every single day creating courses, asking questions constantly, having conversations constantly, making it think, making it do. It was all because of us. So I don't know. It's just crazy. And then there should be like a cap in terms of like making money from it. Like, just regulations that slow down the demand for it everywhere. Because right now, no one is stopping. Like, this guy literally quit his job. Such a noble thing to do too. Like, quit his job just so he could speak about it. Because, like, you know, his 15 minutes of fame are going to be up soon. And then people are going to stop listening. So it's like he really quit his job just so he could get the word out. And I hope that it spreads even more. That's why I wanted to use this video of him, because there's not many people who are allowing him to speak, of course. It's just, yeah, we need to slow down the demand. Because right now it's like these tech billionaires, they're all monopolizing. They're all making money because of this. Like, even like Elon Musk and how much people think he's angel-like. Like, right now it's like he wants to work on his own, and it's going to be a truth one, and it's going to be just another one for him to make billions of dollars. And yeah, it might be a little bit better. It might be more truthful. But is it going to stop us from losing jobs? Probably not. You know? You know, this guy, this weirdo, this maniac that I'm actually working on a video about, I think his name is Noah Ahari. His first name is like Yurval Noah Ahari. He's a maniac, just horrible person, in my opinion. He has this thing where he talks about AI and how it's going to usher in the useless class. And, you know, it's funny the way these people use this language, because the useless class is us. He's just talking about us. He's just talking about people who do remedial tasks and work in offices and work in warehouses. And it's going to create a useless class. It's hard enough dealing with middle class and lower, like in poverty. But now there's going to be a useless class. And like, how about this for a regulation? If you want to bring something about that's going to replace all of us and make us useless, you have to put measures in place. I don't even want to say where we're taken care of, because then we're depending on the state. There should be measures put in place where, I don't know, that can't happen. It can't enter into certain fields of work. It can't enter into certain entry level places of work. Like, it has to be used. And if it's going to be used, it has to be used in high level places of work. Like, how about that? That way all of us don't lose our jobs, and maybe it just makes some C-level executives' jobs a lot easier. That's a thing. Like, I don't know, man, but it seems like no one cares. And the only people who really care, and the only people who are really frightened, are the people who are going to be replaced, the people who could lose their job. You know, I said it jokingly, but I was able to make a workout plan. I just wanted to test it. I was like, make me a workout plan and a diet plan, and it did it quick. So what, now dietitians are out of jobs? Personal trainers out of jobs? Like, this is, I don't know, man. Like, the way that Elon Musk brands things government funded, we're going to have to start branding things like human made, because like, that's where I want to spend my money. I don't want to read an article that was made by AI. I want to read something that was thought out by a human. They took the time. And like, maybe that's something we have to start appreciating, something we have to start looking for. I don't know, man. But I just wanted to bring you that. And other than that, I am out. Oh, the codes. 10% off. I am Coach Colin. You put that code into the website, you get 10% off. If you're in the US, put in free ship USA. You get free shipping in the USA. Now, those codes are going to change eventually, so take advantage of it now, because when those codes change, there's going to be new codes, and I'm going to bring them to you in a new way, all right? And now, I am out.